I came up with the video idea a few days ago, but I was like, you know what, I need to film today. Also, I don't even know what time it is. Like, it's probably like 12. I really don't know, but so excuse the cars if there is any. It is, I don't know, I think it's a Friday. I don't know, but so today I thought it would be a good idea to tell you guys a few of my story times from when I was like a little bit younger. I am still a teenager, I guess, if you would say so, but when I was younger, I was I was not a very great child, and the stories that I'm going to be telling you guys in this video, they are really not that bad. However, I don't think I should tell you guys like the worst ones yet. If anything, I'll do that on Patreon. So yeah. Yeah. So I wrote a few of them down in my little Hello Kitty Sanrio book. And honestly, let's just get started. I feel like I had a few things to tell you guys, but TBH, I don't even remember. So okay, I really don't know what I'm gonna title this. It's either gonna be like, oh, telling you guys some moral or stupid story times. I'm going to start it off strong. So there was this one time, so me and my younger sister, she's only 6 months younger than me, we used to work at Taco Bell together. And this was a very long time ago. None of these stories are pretty recent. This was like 2 years ago, I'd say. I was about 16. Me and my sister worked at Taco Bell together, and I was dating this horrible, literally horrible man. And no, I have never talked about this man before. Anyways, I was on break and I went to go hang out with him, and I don't even really remember what happened. I just know it was my fault. We ended up getting into a very bad argument, and it's very common for, like, if you're on break, you usually go hang out with like your partner, you know. Our breaks were only 30 minutes long, but we made the best out of it. Me and my sister had gone on break at about around the same time. Me and him got into an argument, whatever. He tried to drag me out of the car. Obviously I was like, no, like, you're not gonna be doing that. Mind you, I was 16. I was obviously younger than this man. My sister ended up seeing him trying to low-key get physical with me, and I was like, no. And I'm not gonna tell you guys why we got into an argument, but it was stupid. Like, that's all I can say. He was trying to drag me out of the car. And then my sister was like, I didn't even know my sister was on break, because I had low-key passed up my break. And out of nowhere, when he's trying to throw me out of his car, like literally like drag me out of the back seat, I was like, alright. Then all of a sudden I hear somebody come yelling up, running up and yelling like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I was also very out of it at this time. Yes, I have a problem, whatever. I was just like, what the heck is happening? Anyways, my boyfriend at the time and my sister was also with her boyfriend at the time. They started getting into an argument. She was like, don't touch her. Like, what are you doing? Anyways, this argument ends up into an altercation. Sorry guys, I ran out of storage, but my sister ends up getting physical with my boyfriend at the time. She was like, I'm pretty sure I reenacted that. Obviously, that's not where I throw punches, but I'm working with a limited amount of space right now. So yeah, they ended up getting physical. She popped him in the head like 3 times. And mind you, my sister, I'm 5'3", my sister is like 4'11", like not even. She ends up this boy 3 times in the head, and he didn't do anything to her, which I'm so glad. But yeah, so they ended up getting into it, and it was so corny. Like, I can't even tell you the whole story because it went on for a very long time. So then they ended up beefing, and I was just like, oh hell no, like, what's. And then I was just like, alright, bro. And he tried to smash my phone and all that. I was like, you're literally pathetic. Like, what did I do to you that you're acting like this? So then I got out of the car, and I was just like, alright, like, you know what, I gotta go back to work. And my sister keeps trying to hit my boyfriend at the time again, and her boyfriend, by the way, was like, oh, this isn't you, like, this isn't you, please stop. And we literally all stopped. Like, for that second, we squashed the beef, and we were like, that was so corny. Why would he do that? Like, it was literally the corniest thing I had ever seen in my life. Like, I didn't know people actually did that in real life. I was like, it was horrible. But alright, so then that happened, and I just started like crying like really bad, and I went inside. And but before I went inside, a few customers had actually gone up to our manager, who is my best Okay, so me and my best friend are very close, and I had an aunt house who my aunt, I considered her my mother, and me and my best friend had stayed at her house, and we live very close to a theme park. Well, not that close, from my current house, I live like 30 minutes away probably, but me and my best friend had stayed at my aunt's house, and we really wanted to go to this theme park. However, my aunt and her son, who I call my brother, they went that day to go buy a new car for my brother. And I asked my he was like, oh, do you want to just sleep over at my house? And I was like, yeah, whatever. So we slept over. Anyways, the night ended up with my aunt, a different aunt, reporting me as a runaway, and it was horrible. We did not even get far, maybe like 30 minutes away from my house. And my boyfriend's sister ended up telling, like, I guess one of my cousins reached out to her and was like, oh, do you know where I am? And they were like, oh yeah, we're here, we're getting food, alright. And so yeah, they ended up coming to pick me up at this place where we got food, and my aunt and my uncle picked me up, and they were like, you know what, like, I can't believe you're doing this just because your dad left you, like, I wasn't even mad about that. I was mad about something else, and I was like, it's not even that deep. Like, okay, I was stupid. I was like 13. So when they picked me up, I left my boyfriend, and I never saw him after this, by the way. And they were like, so on the way home, we live near like a cop station, and they drove me past there, and they were like, you do this all the time, like, I'm so tired of it, just go inside and tell them what you're up to. I was like, no. And I started crying really bad because I had never ever had to talk to police before because of something I've done. Obviously, like, this was like my first time. And yeah, they were like, just go inside. And then my uncle was like, oh no, like don't let her go inside. It was so stupid, guys. Like, I got in so much trouble. And at this point, I did have a phone, but it had very, very strict parental controls. Like, I didn't even have the messaging app. I had to text on Google Photos. And yeah, so that happened. And then my dad had actually been on vacation for a very long time, and the rest of the time that he was gone, I had to stay with my aunt because they had cameras everywhere, and they did not leave me out of their sight. And that is the story. So, but honestly, it wasn't that bad because they had like a plan to do a road trip to, like, I think it was like the Mall of America, and I got to go. So that is that. Okay, next story. The same theme park that I have mentioned when me and my friend walked there. This was about 2 years ago. I went with one of my other friends at the time, and you know, it was fine. Like, this was one of our first times hanging out, and I was telling all of my other friends, like, oh, you guys should come meet up with us here. Like, you know, I don't really know this friend like that. And it was just like, okay, like, I love hanging out with all of my friends. But I'm so glad that none of them went because it ended up getting, like, you know, that happened. We were on a ride, and when we heard these fireworks, to say the least, we thought they were fireworks. The ride operator she left us there. Like, the bar was down, we were locked in, and I couldn't get out. Like, yes, I am skinny, but I'm not that skinny. So she ended up running away, and then she came back and she let us out, and we had to hop through fences and literally, like, find anywhere to hide because I was so scared. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, I'm not ready to die. And yeah, I was like 16, and that happened. I literally thought that, like, my life was over. I was like, they're gonna come, and you know. And yeah, so that was that. It was really scary. We had to hop over the fences onto, like, the other roller coasters, and I was so scared because I was like, oh my god, let's pray that they don't start this roller coaster or else we're done. Like, we're literally screwed. And yeah, that was happened. And then once, like, the cops, like, there was literally like 10 cops that showed up. And when we got to leave the park, this is the park, and I had to walk super far by myself outside of the park across the street to a Burger King. And then my dad came and picked me up, and I was so scared. I was literally like, I've never heard that in my life. So yeah, that happened, and then I never got past to this theme park again because I was like, you know what, no, like, I'm literally traumatized. I never want to go back there, and I'm so glad I haven't gone back because things don't change. Okay, so for the next story, I did not want to say, but my sister was helping me come up with some of the stories that I am telling you guys because I feel like I have so many, but I am kind of like unsure what I want to tell you guys, so never mind. I'm just gonna skip this one. But the last story. So this was I think this was about last year, at the beginning of last year, so like February 2023. Yes, I had a cat. His name is You-Know. I love You-Know. He was a little orange kitty that my friend gave him to me for free, and I had him not for that long, honestly, because my stepmom was on vacation, really like distraught. I was crying so bad. Like I don't think I've ever cried that bad since like I got locked up, you know, and a psych ward. But yeah, so I was crying so bad. My sister ended up driving me to my friend's house. She lives like 5 minutes away, different city, but yes, it was that bad that I could not drive. Like I couldn't. Anyways, her and her boyfriend at the time, the same one who was at Taco Bell when we got into this altercation. I don't know what happened to this day. I just know that they got into like some sort of disagreement, and on the way to drop him off to my friend's house, he kept trying to crash into my dad's car. We were on like one of the busiest streets in my area, and he would keep trying to brake check us. He would keep trying to like crash into my dad's car from the side. He would try to rear end us, like, and it was just really bad. Like he would always try to crash into us, and it got okay. And also before this, my cousin was at our house before we had even left to take the cab. So first was our car, then it was my sister's boyfriend's car, and then it was my cousin's car. And he was watching this boy like literally try to run us off of the road. Like it was so bad, you guys. Like it was really bad. It was really scary. And obviously I ended up telling my parents because I was so emotional. Like when this happened, I was like, I can't believe this. Like this boy literally tried to us and try to run us off the road in my dad's car because me and my sister had just got our licenses. And it was just horrible, yeah. And we ended up pulling over because there was like a Domino's like in between me and my friend's house, and he tried to like pull out a fake, you know, on us. And I was literally so mad. I was like, what do you think you're doing? Like, you know, you're not gonna do anything to us. Like, just shut up. Like, I have things to do. And I proved my own point because nothing ever happened to me. He just got in his car and drove off. And I was like, exactly like that. And yeah, I feel like that's the last crazy story I have because there is a lot of stuff I want to tell you guys, but I'm a little bit afraid to tell you on here because I need to get paid because I don't have a job. I'm so sorry. Well, I do have a job, but we are currently waiting on my background check. So, and okay, the story. No, I can't even tell you guys the story that I skipped earlier because I'm so embarrassed. But yeah, that is that. And if you enjoyed this, I have so many more to tell you. Like, you guys literally have no idea like what I did when I was younger, and it's really nothing illegal. Like, it's really not anything illegal, to be honest. I was just like stupid and I did whatever I want because my parents don't discipline me, or really they didn't, because I am an adult now. And that is that. But you know what, I might as well talk about life. So life has been very different recently. My dad just came back from a vacation yesterday, but a lot of stuff changed outside of my dad, like, and it's so crazy, but honestly that deserves a whole story time in itself. So yes, I love you guys all so much, except the people who are mean to me, because I've noticed that the people who are mean to me aren't even subscribed. So I'm like, why do I care what you have to say? Like, you know. And you guys should definitely go follow me on Instagram. I do. I honestly don't post a lot on my main story because I do have my relatives on there. But you know, I really do try. And the last thing I posted was what happened on St. Patrick's Day. I think, or I posted my cat today. But yeah, you guys should definitely go follow me. And if you would like to, you can subscribe to my Patreon. I do a little bit more of like traditional ASMR, like I do role plays, I do actual triggers and stuff on there. It is $5 a month, and also I am considering doing custom videos. Obviously, they can be like, honestly, whatever you want, as long as they are appropriate, because I'm not going to be wasting my time on that. And if you request anything inappropriate, I will, no, I am not even going to give you any attention. And I am kind of unsure about my prices right now, but you can email me at disagreen777@gmail.com and I will email you whatever my prices are. I try to keep them a little bit more affordable, but also reasonable, you know. And yeah, that is that. I miss you guys, and let me know what other types of videos you are interested in seeing.